Hey guys, we're back at it, KKG, and welcome to Young and Proud Educators. Today we're going to speak about education being decentralized. I mean, like the internet has literally, physically, emotionally, psychologically decentralized the internet. Like it's decentralized. And let's just start off with breaking them down quickly so we understand. Okay, what do we mean by decentralized? Okay. Decentralized is opposite decentralized. Centralized, it means everything happens in one place. Everything has to come from wherever to be in that place. For instance, back then, just a few years, or even now, it still happens. Like people who are saying, no, I want a better life, I want a better future, I want better. Where do those guys go? They go to the cities. Like most people who are to go Joburg, and people go to the city, any city, that's where people go. Because that's when things happen. That's where life is, apparently. I do not know. That's where life is. So it's same thing with education. Like those people that say, you know what, I want my child to be educated, to receive a good education, to receive proper education, to receive whatever kind of education, then that's when you see a lot of people sending their children to town schools, to town private schools. You know, like most private schools, most generally, I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying most private schools, they are in the city. So now what we sing now is, it's quite interesting because the internet is just disrupting. I'm gonna say it again, the internet is disrupting schools intentionally so. And COVID made it possible. Like COVID made sure that, you know what, I'm gonna put a red carpet for the internet to walk on it as it disrupts. So it's now decentralized. Decentralized in the sense that, you know what, for your child to receive great education, good education, your child doesn't have to go or live in the city. Doesn't have to leave you guys in the village. Doesn't have to leave you guys in the township. Doesn't have to leave you guys from wherever. What is happening now? They just go in there, get themselves a computer. Doesn't have to be a good computer, just functioning computer, and a good internet. From there, you will have access to world best education, to global education, and a lot of learning management systems that different schools are using, and they work very well. Like for instance, there's Google. Google is doing extremely well during this time, using Classroom, all the G Suite applications, they're quite awesome. But decentralized in the sense that, you know what, we don't have to travel, we don't have to drive, we don't have to take a child to that school or to that area. That child can still go to that school from the village. That child can still go, your child can still go to a proper, great, powerful school in the world from the village. It's decentralized now. We see what YouTube is doing. YouTube is going really crazy. I'm gonna have a video about YouTube. It's doing really crazy because like YouTube is how-to space. How to bake, you don't know how to bake a cake, you go to YouTube, you check it out. There are hundreds of thousands of videos about that. So you don't have to go to baking school, you don't have to go to cooking school. You just go onto the internet and you watch and you practice math, you do the same. Like school generally with Khan Academy, everything is in there. Khan Academy was one of the people that intentionally started to disrupt schools by creating its virtual free school online where everybody can go and just learn from there, from good educators, from experienced educators, just giving value to them for free. So it's decentralized, and we're going to see more of this coming, particularly in the private schools, in the semi-private schools, in the international schools. There's a lot of this that's going to come. And however, the biggest challenge that we will have, or that we're going to face, is the public education. I fear for public education. I fear for public schools. The decentralization, it's going to come, but it's going to take a long time to like really fully function. But hey guys, if you been stressed and you're thinking like, my child should be traveling, should be doing, things are changing. There's a lot of different methodologies, a lot of different styles that we're using, or ways that we're using to teach our children. Be it your blended, they don't have to go like full online, hybrid, blended, whole lot. I will create a video about a whole lot of different ways that now schools continue to teach by not bringing the children to schools. So it's fascinating to see how it happens, and I cannot wait to see the end of it. I cannot wait to see the end of it, how it's going to end. Some will say, if you're in South Africa, they usually say, hey, it's going to end in tears. I think for schools that are not going to reinvent themselves and innovate, for those schools, it's going to end in tears. For them, it will end in tears, because now they're not going to have children. They will be out of business of educating the children. So reinvent, innovate, think for the future. And whilst you do that, keep one thing in your mind. Internet is decentralizing education. It's making education accessible to everybody. Like that's power on its own. That's power on its own. Education accessible to everybody. You don't have to be somewhere to have access to quality education, to good education. You don't need to have that. But you have to have a connection to connect with the world. Like there's a lot of, I see it started a few years ago. Universities started having full online degree courses, and it continues. Now the same thing is coming down to high school level. It's coming down to us, primary school and secondary school teachers. And as such, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the future. The future looks bright. Guys, I'm gonna leave you with this. As you reinvent yourself, as you innovate, think about this statement. Internet disrupting schools. Internet decentralizing education. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace to the family.